members of council, and my fellow trustees. I think you can just tell there by the warmth of those farewells what a great time we've had on the trustee body for the last little while. That warmth goes through every meeting, and the fun that we've had comes through in those presentations. So I'm going to say a bit more about it in a minute. In fact, I want to say 4 things tonight. I want to share some feelings with you. I want to say a few thank yous. I want to say a few words about Simon, and then I want to talk about tomorrow. I have to say I feel extremely honoured, humble, and very conscious, as Jeremy said, of the shoes that I have to fill. Not only Simon, but before him, there's been some very illustrious predecessors. And the United Synagogue has been fortunate to have had very many wonderful presidents. And it does feel very humbling to be standing in that position tonight. But it also feels amazingly exciting, because it is a wonderful organisation. And I think we're in for a very exciting time over the next few years. So I'm greatly looking forward to being its president. By the time we've had Rabbi Davis's drasha and Simon, they didn't leave me very much of Pinchas to talk about, which is this week's Seder. I did think about mentioning the census, and you will be aware that the census came to 601,730 people when they took it at that particular time. And that's a very nice objective for the United Synagogue to get to, but perhaps it's perhaps a little bit far off for a while, but I don't know, with Jeremy at the helm, we ought to set our sights high. What I wanted to talk about was something a little bit more unusual. There is one column in the Sefer Torah which wears out before all the others, and it's actually in Pinchas, because it is that section of the Torah which is used for maftir, for every Yom Tov and for Rosh Chodesh. So that's the one that, of course, gets the most use, and it's the one that wears out first. And I thought that's appropriate to talk about tonight, because I think this takes us through the annual cycle of the year. It's connecting us with what happens during the year with our Jewish roots. And that sounds to me just like the United Synagogue, is to support us through the annual cycle and connect us to vibrant and engaging Judaism. And that's what the US is all about. I wanted to say thank you to a number of people. Firstly, I want to say thank you to Peter, because we're great friends. We've sat on the trustee table for many years, and we have been going to various different meetings, hustings meetings, shul AGMs, and so on. And he has conducted this campaign exactly as I expected he would do as a gentleman, and with great honour and dignity. And Peter, I'd like to thank you for that. I also wanted to say thank you to my own little campaign committee. I'm not sure if they're here tonight. Some of you may know that about 6 weeks ago I was indisposed for a little while, and my lovely son, Anthony, and 3 of his friends came to see me and said, right, we're taking over, we're going to become your campaign committee. And they've done an absolutely splendid job. So I'd like to say thank you to Jeremy, to David, and to Daniel, who have done an absolutely tremendous job in helping me to get elected tonight. I've also had lots of advice from very many people, from Jeff and from Peter Sheldon and many others who are here tonight, and I'd like to say thank you to all of those. And then, of course, I have to mention Cheryl, my wife, who's been a fantastic support to me. And I think it's appropriate at a time like this also, if you'll bear with me, if I could just mention my late father, Leonard Zettel Vracha, because he taught me that communal work is not an option. In fact, it's obligatory, and that lesson, I think, has stood me in very good stead over the last few years. The third thing I want to talk about is Simon, and we've already had some very lovely words. he has been an absolute tour de force as our president for the last 6 years. He has begun the process of transformation of the United Synagogue. As he described in his remarks, we are a very different organisation to what we were a few years ago. There are so many initiatives going on, and there's so much more flexibility, and there's so much more encouragement to succeed and change. And I think, Simon, that is really due to you. And we have had tremendous fun working with you. So I know that you will be going on to do something very exciting next. I don't know what it is yet, but whatever it is, we wish you lots of mazel and bracha for the next phase of what you decide to do. And just like I know you were calling your predecessor very regularly, I will be calling you. Finally, to move on to tomorrow, I wanted to say congratulations to Russell, to Jonathan, to Stephen and Brian, who are the new trustees who have come in. I've spoken to you over the time. I know that you're wonderful people and you're going to do a fantastic job, and I really look forward to working with you. And to Stephen and Russell, who are continuing, of course, it will be fantastic to continue what we've done before. I'm really delighted we're going to have 4 ladies at the trustee table going forward. So for Dahlia, Irene, Naomi and Irene, once again, really looking forward to working with you. I think it's going to be a really interesting time. It wouldn't be right to mention, to omit Jeremy and the team. Jeremy is a fantastic chief executive, and we have a wonderful body of professionals that run the United Synagogue. And I think we're going to have a really good time. I can't wait to start working with you to start getting some of the things done that we said we would do. So, in conclusion, I think it's going to be a tremendously exciting time, and I want to start securing the future for the next generation, and the sooner we start, the better.